Oh, good afternoon. We're a few hours in, maybe 3, and things look very different down here. I don't know why the lens is so freaking dirty. That's a little better. So the strut and spring are gone, the fender liner's gone, the ball joints are like half out, the H-arm pivot's down, we've got the new link in there, the integral link is out. Integral link would be there. Same on the other side. Howdy.
Hello.
And really the old struts and springs came out pretty well. It's the old sway bar. It's a new strut. Having issues with the ball joint though, so we're kind of awaiting some different tools. Same thing over here. We didn't need to touch the evaporative the fuel evaporator tank or whatever that thing's called. I don't know why people say you have to take that out. We didn't. The strut came right down nice and easily. So far so good. So Kenan had to go to the strip club or something. I don't know. He's picking up some women. But I've gotten back to work. We've got the one strut assembly done and half installed. We got the white part on the outside, which supposedly that's what you're supposed to do. It's seated in the holes up there. I put the 13mm nuts on top. The 3 of them. They're down to what is it? 21 foot-pounds. So the top's done. I put the little cover back on, and then I put the speaker back in and plug that in, and it's in with its Phillips screws. This car's got factory M audio, so it's easy to tell how much nicer that speaker is. The cones, like in mine, the speaker's the same shape and everything, but the cones are just really thin paper. I don't know what that is. It's got a texture to it. I also don't have this metal part over it, and I don't have any of that. That grill thing that looks like a golf ball, I don't have that. And you can't install them because the wiring is different. You have to run new wires from the amps, and oh my god, what a pain in the ass. To this one, it wouldn't be difficult to get different wires too. But that one would be downright miserable, let alone the front. I mean, there's 3 speakers in each front door, these little ones in the rear doors, and then the 2 deck speakers. And I've got the subs, and that's what makes the biggest difference. And then last night, we put the PDC speaker in, right there. And whenever you get in the car and put it in reverse, it gives default beep. Obviously, the front sensors aren't plugged in, and there's no rear sensors, and who knows what else we have to do to make that work. But that's where we stand right now. So I'm going to put the big ass bolt. This one here is the one that holds the strut to the hub, and this one goes down to 94 foot-pounds. So I'm going to make sure he doesn't have new ones of those. I'll go through these bags, put that in. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because the hub, the wheel carrier here is way too low. And I can't, or way too high, and I can't push it down. I don't want to stress the axle, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to jack the strut up with a hydraulic jack, or figure out how to get my bottle jack up high enough and just compress it about an inch, because that's got to fit. That little notch has to fit there in the carrier. Okay, here's the mechanism. So we use the big jack with the bottle jack on top of the big jack. Jacked up the strut to the right height and put the new bolt in. That's going to go down to 94 pounds here in a matter of moments. In the meantime, we can release the tension on the bottle jack, and that's probably, yep, going to lower back down, and then we can release the big jack too. Oh, okay, finally not in the garage. It's late. It's 12:54 a.m. Megan's come back from New York. I picked her up at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport and took her home. I'm on my way home now. So the M5 project today, I don't know, we made a lot of progress. We also got hung up in a lot of areas, and I guess maybe not a lot of areas, but the ball joints, oh my god, what a bitch-a-rooney that is. So we've got 2 tools for ball joint removal, you know, the big ass C-clamp, and then all the little cups and plates and all that stuff. And both of them, either A, the C-clamp isn't long enough, or the cups are too wide and it doesn't fit. So, you know, it's just been really, really frustrating that you have the tools, and they're like nice tools. These are the ones, Kenan said, the one that he bought. He didn't even rent the one. He bought it, and it's the one that either BAV Auto or FCP. That's the one they recommend for the E39, and it doesn't work. These cups are just 2 inches too big. It's completely unnecessary. They feel very generic. It feels like something that was made for a GMC Yukon, and we're trying to use it on an E39 M5. Well, you know, after 3 hours, we got it to work. We got the rear right ball joint out, and now we can't get it back in. So that's fun. I think that's going to be tomorrow's. I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to the car work tomorrow, but we are going to try to get the rear end put back together. Both struts and spring assemblies are in, torque to spec, that's all done. But we've got to do both rear ball joints, or 1.5 of them, since we've already got one out. And integral links. I got the sway bar in, the Eibach bars bolted up to the rear subframe with the Beast Power bushings. And I have the links installed on the H-arms, but the H-arms are pivoted down right now and not attached to the sway bar. So, you know, that'll take 3 minutes. But integral links, I don't know. I've never done those before, and I do not know about the those ball joints, but that's going to be tomorrow. We did, Kenan got the rear deck back together, seeing that we're done with the top of the struts there. So the interior's kind of put back together. Actually, I think completely put back together. But more work to go. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. A little bit of travel tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. In the meantime, it's about 1 a.m. here, and I'm just going to go home and go to bed. The garage is an absolute mess, and we won't be able to clean that up until tomorrow. By the way, this company here says, I don't know, is it BASF? B-A-S-F? I don't know what it is. I think it's a tech company, because I remember as a little kid, my dad like gave me a bunch of probably blank floppies that he was gonna throw out, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever that I had these things. I had, some of them were games, like there was a bicycle card game, is that the name of it? That you would put in. I had a Dell Latitude C610 and a Dell Latitude C800, and you know how you could either put another battery, a CD drive, or a floppy drive in those front bays, and I would slap the floppy in there and put like games on there. I find one with just random files on it, text files and stuff. But I think they said BASF or BASF on them. Just a little side thought. Okay, good night, we'll talk tomorrow.